Hey y'all, Cooper, LivingCooper.com. Today I got a Coop simple how-to for you, and it's how to make some smoking hot, burn your face off chili. We got the chili cook-off at church this week, and hopefully I'll win the spiciest. Every time I've tried, they've gotten rid of the spiciest award. This year they say they're going to have one. We'll see what happens. So here we go. This was originally a vegan recipe that I adapted for a meat lover's recipe. So we're going to start this out, and I got to say that there'll be a link in the description to the recipe, the actual recipe. I'll put it in our blog. Because I'm making such a large batch, we kind of adapted it so the measurements aren't right. So I'm not going to go through all the measurements, but the link will be in the description so you can try it. First thing we got is we got dried peppers that we started soaking last night. There's ghost pepper flakes in here. There's arbol chilies in here, Casperville peppers and Thai chili peppers all in here, and we had them to boil in water last night and let them soak overnight. And I'm going to hand these out to Nana, and she's going to go put them in the Ninja blender and basically going to pulverize them to nothing, and we'll use that juice to cook our chili in. Okay, next thing I got to do is brown the meat. I got 2 pounds of meat. I got 1 pound of elk sausage that I'm going to use, and then I have 1 pound of ground bison I'm going to use. So that'll be our first step, is to brown our meat. And of course, being elk and bison, it's pretty dry, which is okay for what we're doing here. So while that's kind of cooking a little bit, I got to drain 2 cans of corn. So this, people say, what, you put corn in your chili? Yes, we put corn in our chili. Remember, this was a vegan recipe to begin with, and so vegans are weird anyways. We used to be vegan, actually. We tried it for about a year or so we found out that it wasn't very good for Nana's autoimmune. Smelling good already. And that's just the meat. Alright, we got our meat browned up here. I'm just going to stick it on a bowl and set it aside. Like I said, this is a vegan chili recipe that we adapted. We started making this chili, I don't know, five or more years ago. And it was a vegan chili, and we would make it and take it to our church chili cook-off, and people would eat it, and we'd tell them it was vegan. If we told them it was vegan first, they wouldn't eat it. But when they came back for the second bowl, they'd be like, that's so good, what is it? We're like, it's vegan chili. Back then I didn't have meat in it. What we put in it was smart ground, which is a meat substitute. Who knows what that is. And then, when we found out that the vegan diet wasn't so good for Nana, we started putting regular meat in it, switching from being a vegan chili to a non-vegan chili. And very rarely do we have any left over. So that's our brown meat. So now, the next step is we're going to saute all of our veggies, well, our peppers and our onions, our celery. We're going to saute all those together in a little dash of olive oil. And we'll throw everything in the stock pot and let it simmer for about an hour or so. So let's see if we can saute up our peppers and our veggies. I gotta say, I've added a lot of other peppers that aren't necessarily in the recipe. Zhuzh it up a little bit. The original recipe just wasn't hot enough for me. It just wasn't doing the trick. I like spicy, so we had to zhuzh it up with our own bit of recipes. We'll just put a little olive oil in here, like that. Start sauteing this until the onions start to look a little transparent. When the onions start looking transparent, then you know that your saute is just about right. So while we're waiting on that, I got our stock pot. So we'll go ahead and dump our meat in here, I guess. Now remember, I know this looks like a lot, and that's because we've kind of doubled up on the recipe, because we're cooking for a big crowd. So you can always upsize and downsize the recipe depending on what you need to do. And you can freeze it. It freezes pretty good. We froze it and passed it around to friends of ours. So Nana don't eat it though. Nana does not like the spicy, but Nana's about the best wife in the world. She chopped up all the onions and all the peppers for me, so she had to suffer through all that. She's like a sous chef on steroids. So as far as in here, I got the celery and red bell pepper, yellow and orange bell pepper, and I got the onion, habaneros and jalapenos that were fresh, and some serranos that were fresh. The vapors are starting to come off those peppers sauteing. Woo! 2 things, that'll open you up and that'll make you hack and cough. If you're not careful. Hopefully I won't start hacking up a storm. I'm essentially cooking this on high. We're almost there. while that's cooking down, we can go ahead and add my chili powder to my meat. I got 3 tablespoons. Well, there's about four tablespoons. We'll just use up the rest of it there. So we got that added to our meat. We'll go ahead and add, we got some Bragg aminos. We got 2 tablespoons in there that we're going to use. I think we're just about there. Our onions are starting to look pretty translucent. Okay, so I just use a jarred minced garlic. If you use a jarred minced garlic, it'll tell you on there how much to put in per clove. And essentially, it's supposed to be equal to 2 cloves of garlic in here. And then we'll saute this for about another minute, and we'll go ahead and add it to our stock pot. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and add all of our ingredients here, and then we'll move it onto the stove and finish cooking it up. All right, so we put our chili powder in. We got all of our peppers and stuff here. We need to put a little salt in here. I need 2 teaspoons of salt. All right, 2 teaspoons of cumin. We need 2 teaspoons of dried cilantro. Let me do this. We need to add some Carolina Reaper, and I'm going to add, I think, half a teaspoon at this point. A little that'll do you on that stuff because it's smoking hot. And then we'll add half a teaspoon of the scorpion, and that's as well as smoking hot. Those are 2 of the hottest peppers in the world. They blow the habanero off the scale, jalapenos, all that stuff gets blown out the window. All right, we're gonna go ahead and add our sauteed veggies in here. Throw in our corn. Whoop. Strained corn, and then we need to add our beans. What's chili without beans? We'll go ahead and add all of our beans here. Got pinto beans, and really you could use any kind of beans you want. The recipe calls for pintos, kidneys, and blacks, but you could do it however you want. You can have whatever you want. That's the beauty of cooking chili. It's kind of however you want to do it. Now, I gotta say with the black beans, I do like to strain them a little bit. The way I am, I don't like all that stuff in there. Common black beans. And that's a personal preference as well. And this, I mean, we're gonna have a lot of juice in here, so the juice is out of the kidney beans right there. And I don't 100% strain them, I just kind of strain them with the majority of the juices out. I mean, you could cook it with all that in there, but I'm fixing to add some Rotel tomatoes to kind of give us a tomato base in there. And then you see my pepper base over there that I'm going to add this thing too. It's going to have plenty of juice in it. So my tomatoes, I use the Mexican style, which has lime juice and cilantro. And then I also use the original, has the green chilies in it. The hot, which has habanero in it. So if you're keeping count, I've got fresh habaneros in it. And then I've also got the canned habaneros from the Rotels. My pot might be too small. So there's a lot of peppers if you're keeping count. So here's all my pepper base that Nana blended up for me. And that's going to fill this up basically with our stock. Okay, so everything's added together here. Now we're going to transfer all this, take this in and put it on the stove, bring it to a boil, then we'll let it simmer for about an hour or so. It'll be a little bit longer than an hour, probably will turn out to be longer than an hour, normally the way I cook it. And then we'll test it as we go and check the flavors and make sure it's got a good flavor to it. All right, so here we go to the stove. Okay, y'all, here we go. Nana suggested that we upsize our pot from here to here. This is her canning pot that she does canning in. So we're gonna pour everything in there and cook it down. And all right, so here we go. Let's transfer this in the pot. All right, so we need more liquids in here. I don't know how well you guys can see, but there's not a lot of liquids in there. I'm just gonna bring this up with some water so we get some more juice, and that water will cook down as we cook it. Kind of top it with some water, and it's all eyeballing to feel and to taste. The big thing is we know that we kind of got the taste started by using the original recipe, and then we'll tweak it from there. So we'll turn on the heat for me to high, large burner high, and we'll bring this up to a boil. Okay, y'all, watch pot never boils, so we'll be back when this stuff starts boiling, and then we'll let it simmer for about an hour. We'll see y'all in a little while. right, it's boiling now, so we're gonna turn it down and let it simmer. Keep watching. Okay, so it's Sunday afternoon. We're getting ready for the chili cook-off, and cooked up my chili yesterday. It's all ready, almost ready to go. Not quite. I'm fixing to turn it on now, bring it back up to temperature, and let it simmer some more. And then I'll also probably add some more spices as needed as I taste test and go along. Some more pepper powders until we get it to the heat where I hope that it'll be good. I tasted it yesterday. I thought it was pretty good. I thought they had some heat on the back end, but I didn't think it was too hot. Nana actually tested it, and she doesn't do spicy, but she said it had heat on the front end, the back end, and the middle. I don't know. It's kind of like a middle of the road kind of deal. For her, it's always too much. For me, it's never really enough. So we're gonna heat it up and see if we can spice it up some more. So here we go. Got the Tramontina. Oh, by the way, this is pot number 3. We actually went last night and got a Tramontina pot for the Tramontina induction. So we'll turn that on 5 and we'll bring it on up. You guys probably don't necessarily want to watch all this. We'll see you in just about a second to wrap this up. Okay, y'all, chili's done, nice and hot. I spiced it up. I didn't show everything I put in it. It's a secret, and I always do it to taste. And as usual, never seems hot enough for me. Nana doesn't like the spicy, but she's gonna give it a shot. So we're gonna ladle it up, and you guys can check out the blog at LivingCooper.com, and we will have it there. I prefer my chili with saltines. Nana prefers the Ritz.
We also have cornbread.
And cornbread, and we're just giving this a taste because we're going to take it to church and have a chili cook-off at church. So we're just tasting. Yeah, we put cheese, sour cream in it.
I put ketchup in mine to cool it off, but I'm not going to. I'm going to cry my way through it.
She's going to Wonder Woman up. So
it's hot bowl, so.
It's, I really don't think it's that hot, but not spicy hot.
Hot.
You got a drink right there. So there you have it, Spice and Oak chili. Started out as vegan chili. Check out the recipe at LivingCooper.com. Thanks for watching. We really appreciate you guys. Please like, share, subscribe. Leave us some comments, some other recipes you might like to see. Yeah, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time.
Keep watching. It got a lot hotter.